On this edition of the program, we are live from the United Center, Chicago, DNC. Biden is speaking. What are the vibes? We will tell you that and so much more. It's all coming up.
This episode of Politics is brought to you by Kalshi.com. You guys know I love guessing about the probabilities of how various different events, especially in politics, are going to turn out. So I was thrilled when Kalshi came to me and said, hey, you want to partner up for PX3? They want to support us and we want to support them because this is way up our alley here. Kalshi is the website where you can win real money predicting pretty much anything. We got some of the markets here. How many major earthquakes will happen this year? Will SpaceX Starship do a fifth launch? Will Post Malone have a #1 album this year? And what is the president's 538 approval rating tomorrow? Things that are near term, short term, long term, it's all on Kalshi. So I'm going to highlight one of these that I really, really like because obviously they have a politics section here. How many presidential debates will happen this year? Here's how it works. You got varying different contracts here. Will there be 0 presidential debates, 1 presidential debates, 2 presidential debates, or 3 presidential debates? So we know that 0 is not going to happen because we already had 1. If you believe that the one that is scheduled on September 10th isn't going to happen, then you got a lot of value here at selecting only one is going to happen. You could buy that at a 7-cent contract. So what does that mean? Well, if you buy it at 7 cents, no matter what, every contract pays out at $1. So you would win 93 cents for every contract you bought, and you can buy as many contracts as you'd like. Now, I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that there will be 3 debates. So I'm going to buy a contract at 38 cents. That's where the market is right now for 3 debates on the dot. That means that I will win 62 cents for every contract that I buy. That's a little money. That's a little coin in my pocket. Why be right for free? Be right and make money on Kalshi. Kalshi's got hundreds of markets to trade on and has seen over 750 million in trading volume, and they keep adding new markets, and I've heard more and more political markets as well. And here's the best part. It's the only market that is legal in all 50 states. You love to see it. Head on over there and support Politics by going to Kalshi.com, KALSHI.com/PX3. That is letter P, letter X, number 3. Kalshi is supporting us by giving a $20 bonus to the first 500 people who join with our code and deposit $100. Again, that is Kalshi, KALSHI.com/PX3. $20 bonus for the first 500 people who join with that link and deposit $100. We thank Kalshi for their support of independent journalism.
That is the stage for the DNC. As you can see, this is a bit of a different setup. In fact, it's a totally different setup than the RNC. So the RNC was set up like this. So the stage was there, and everything was kind of clamshelled like that. So it was all lengthwise. This is very narrow, right? So it is kind of pill-shaped in a way that the Republicans were not. We are seeing the rehearsals for the entrances for tonight's speakers. Here's where all the media, the television media, is set up.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I don't know who that is. Is that Doug Emhoff? Might be Doug Emhoff. This is, of course, the Free Radicals, or the New Radicals. Got what you give. They said that they would play this song again if Biden won. Biden did win, and so they did play the song again. I believe it was at the DNC in 2020. A much more elegant stage, I would say, compared to the mixed media elements of the RNC, but it is a smaller stage. And certainly it is more ensconced here in the back. Although I do think technically it's taking out fewer seats. Because if you see the blacked out seats there were a lot more blacked out seats in the Republican convention just because of how they set up the stage, right? So if that's where it was last time, you're just blacking out more seats that you can't see the stage from. It is very interesting that we still have the microphones for the delegates because they are a useless appendage. They are not going to actually vote. So, I guess it's kind of a bygone relic that there is any kind of communication. It is a bit of an interesting decision, of course, always, where the various different delegations get to sit. So let's take a look here. Right up front, California, obviously. We have Wisconsin, Tennessee, North Carolina, so a lot of swing states. Pennsylvania, obviously. But let's go ahead and see who got shafted. Who's way back there in the cheap seats? Oh no. Oh no, Florida. Florida, what'd you do? And here we are, press row. So with a little time to kill, I figure I would head outside our perimeter here and try to catch up with what is supposed to be the largest Palestinian protest of the week. Initial reports had it at 45,000 people. What I have seen via social media is that it is less than that, but yet still spirited. Cornel West spoke, said that Kamala was guilty of genocide. So let's take a look for ourselves. Just a random car accident. This is the image here that's going viral. The pile of unused signs. There we go. Democrats fund the genocide of Palestinians. Stand with Palestine. Fight the right with working class struggle. Genocide Joe's legacy. The butcher in Gaza. But really the big ones are the bulk ones that were not even unbundled. And you can just see, like, it's actually, you have to get close to realize how many signs weren't picked up. From Chicago to Palestine, occupation is a crime. Zionism is Nazism. And there are just bundles and bundles of these that were not picked up for this walk. So we can confirm that there are a bunch of signs. You know, the rumor was anywhere between 30 and 45,000 people that were supposed to be part of the march. Reporting on this today has it at closer to the 10-15,000, which, look, 10 to 15,000 people that are protesting ain't nothing to shake a stick at, but you've got about 20,000 people's worth of signs that were not picked up. So there we go. You've now seen it yourself. There is actually another big old pile here. These are not bundled in the same way that the other ones were, but they are pretty much in groups. A lot of the same signs. This pile is in front of the stage. That is where earlier today Cornel West called Kamala Harris guilty of genocide. And a few more piles here. There are a lot of signs that were left. And here's another pile. So this is 4 different piles of signs that I guess were overbought. Okay, so obviously we were a little late on the protest itself, but if we are going to judge the possibility, the specter of a 1968 by passion, right? My thought is the biggest way that this is a total disaster for the Democrats is if, like, the city's on fire while Kamala's speaking, right? And that's the split screen. The split screen is Democrats equal chaos. This is who they tolerate. This is who they're courting, right? That happens not because protesters are doing it, but because there's a large enough crowd that you have anarchists that are doing it. This is largely the same reason why, like, 1968 isn't going to happen this week. A BLM riot, a George Floyd riot might, right? And that was driven by anarchists, people that were looking to break things. Do they want to break things under the guise of this particular passion? If we didn't see that many people there, I don't know. The reports are now that it was 5,000. If it's 5,000 people, well, you know, it's certainly, hey, 5,000 people is 5,000 people, but it ain't 45,000 people. And if you thought 45 was coming and you really got 5, then I do think that you might have overestimated. And if they overestimated, then I don't think that this is going to necessarily be the same kind of chaos that some were fearing. Long way to go between here and there, but you know, it's a pretty evocative image, a pile of signs that wasn't picked up. outside the United Center now as we do our update, brought to you, of course, by TakePoliticsSeriously.com. At TakePoliticsSeriously.com, you can support this show for $3 a week. You get 2 bonus episodes, recorded one for the Sunday and Monday crowd, and we will have another one on Thursday that will be recapping Tuesday and Wednesday's events. And then obviously our Friday show will be all about the Kamala Harris coronation on Thursday. Thank you guys. Look, we are coming to the end of our travel schedule for this campaign, and you know, it doesn't happen without you guys. Like, look at all these cameras. Look at, like, that's all the major networks. That's all them there. And then me, because of you. Thank you. TakePoliticsSeriously.com. Let's get to some stories that are not involving the DNC for the most part. Representative Matt Gaetz faces a significant primary challenge driven by former Speaker Kevin McCarthy and his allies seeking revenge for those who ousted McCarthy. Gaetz, who led the effort to remove McCarthy, is the last of these Republicans to face a primary, and the race is marked by a multi-million-dollar campaign against Gaetz, with his challenger, Aaron Dimmick, a retired naval officer, receiving support from a super PAC connected to McCarthy allies. Dimmick's campaign is focused on frustrations with Gaetz's political maneuvers and the ongoing allegations, of course, about Matt Gaetz and sex trafficking with a underage girl. However, Gaetz, who is a well-known figure, let's also remember that his father is a Republican presidential royalty, so these roots go deep, is still favored in the primary tomorrow. So, look, I think that the likelihood for Gaetz to leave is about the same as Ilhan Omar, and Ilhan Omar survived. So, yes, there's a lot of money that's going to try to push him out, but I think Gaetz is popular in that district. He is well known, and he is very, very famous. I want to read for you guys 2 little things that came from a Joe Biden piece in Axios. How Joe Biden is processing everything that has happened as he gives his big speech tonight that we're going to cover in this episode. Via Axios, President Biden hadn't had much to smile about lately, but we hear he got a huge laugh on a recent call when he was told about an encounter in Fenway Park in Boston. A former top White House official under President Obama ran into Mike Barnicle, the Morning Joe regular and close friend and ardent defender of Biden, and said, "Isn't it great that that effing guy finally figured out he had to quit?" Barnicle was tired and not having it. "What guy?" he replied. "Joe Biden," the West Wing alumnus replied. "You know what? F you," Barnicle replied, "and F all your friends with their anonymous quotes to the papers. Put your name on it next time," and kept walking. A source familiar with Biden's reaction to the story said he might still be laughing. So that's smile, right? Here are the tears. On the opening day of the conventions, Democrats are ecstatic, giddy at how far Harris has come in the 29 days since Biden bowed out. But among some in Biden's innermost circles, there's astonishment about how instantly Harris became a celebrated, glamorous star. Some Biden stalwarts blame the press for forcing him out and now seethe at what they see as fawning coverage of Harris. They know that the best thing for Biden's place in history is for her to win, but after 4 years of doubts about her governing chops and her reliability as a politician, they see the party's instant embrace of her as an even more brutal rejection of Joe. They are also not fooled by the patronizing praise of Biden by public officials who were knifing him not but 4 weeks ago. Obviously, by the time that you get to this episode, we will have already seen the Biden speech. You will see it right after this. So, let me just say, I'm very excited for the vibes. Very excited for the vibes. And let me give you guys actually a vibe check here. So, the biggest thing that the DNC is worried about is a Gaza protest in arena. This is going to get a little wonky, but the way that they do the credentials here is they have these passes. So this is a arena pass. I was also given a perimeter pass. That basically gets you in to the secured perimeter. They are really, really, really cracking down on who can enter with one of these passes. Even though Secret Service only needs one of these things for you to get in, they want to see this vetted pass. Now, why? They want to, in my opinion, because these don't have your face on it. They can't track you, and they can't kick you out and know where you came from if you have one of these and you get in to the building. And they are very focused on not having a gigantic press story of somebody chanting or a big flag being unfurled, any of these things, right? They don't want it. They don't want it at all. So I would describe the vibes as a little tight. A little tight. Now, maybe when the delegates get in, it'll be free-flowing, it'll be a fun time. You know, everyone will be falling out of coconut trees. No doubt. But right now, before everybody gets let in, the staff, clenched. One final look here. I wanted to just take a peek in at the polls as we begin this convention week. The big thing that I want you guys to keep an eye on are, did Kamala get her convention bounce early? Did all of the excitement about her essentially give her what she would have gotten from this event a few weeks before? So what we want to do to track that is look at where the numbers are now, and then we'll check where the numbers are in a week or so. So right now, Real Clear Politics average has Kamala up 1.5. I've seen it higher in other polling aggregates. I believe that Nate Silver has her up around in the high 2s, if not low 3s. And then, as I've said before, I believe that this entire race comes down to Pennsylvania and Georgia. Right now, Donald Trump up 0.1 in the RCP average in Pennsylvania and up 1 whole point, so not 0.1, but 1 point in Georgia. Very close race. Very, very, very close race. TakePoliticsSeriously.com, where you need to go if you want to support this show. Thank you for sending me here. It is all because of you. And now, back to all of this. Looks like we are doing some live televisual testing. We're gonna have some. We're gonna risk a Zoom situation here, live at the DNC. But it's very interesting. It's the first time I can ever remember that. I mean, I guess probably for satellite kind of stuff at some point. All right, we are now allowed on the floor. So let's do a little close-up walkthrough. Here are all of the delegates who, again, have no purpose here because they already did their job.
Go. Quickly.
Let's see if we can get up to the stage here. We have a Bernie Sanders sighting. J.B. Pritzker and Bernie Sanders here, taking a tour of the stage. So there's again a live band, but they do not have the same stage that the band did at the RNC. And here it is. The big shebang. Very sleek.
founded a nonprofit called I Am ALS, and thousands of terminally ill treatments, all of which President Biden signed into law.
Okay, I don't know how much time we're gonna spend on the floor here. It's really tight, and it's only gonna get tighter when the big names start showing up. There's as many people organizing as there are delegates. So what do you say we just head to the C-SPAN box? Let's head to the C-SPAN box. We are here in the C-SPAN skybox, and it is my favorite place to be because it's the only political media company that matters. And so this is where I'm going to be watching the rest of it, because down there is an absolute a-holes to elbows situation. But the price, here's Jen Briney. The price of that is a little bit of philanthropy for you, the PX3 listeners, and that is C-SPAN is currently doing a big drive to keep themselves going. Essentially, if you know the story of C-SPAN, they are not a governmental organization. They are a company that is funded by cable. And I don't know if you are like me, but you don't have cable anymore, which means that the funding that comes in for C-SPAN isn't what it used to be. So, here's where you can go. You go to cspan.org/donate and tell them PX3 sent you. I think they only have like 5,000 more bucks, and then they will get to their goal, and we really, really want to be a part of it. Not only has C-SPAN been very, very nice to me personally, but I think that they are an absolutely indelible institution, and in political media that has only gotten more and more fractured and weird, they remain the exact same. So, head on over there, cspan.org/donate, if just to thank them, because I get to actually sit down and not fend for myself down with those animals. So, there we go. cspan.org/donate, a little unsolicited plug. Kept in the winner doesn't quit on themselves on it, but they didn't make it. And there she is.
Going to be a great week. And I want to kick us off by celebrating our incredible President Joe Biden, who will be historic leadership for your lifetime of service to our nation and for all you will continue to do. We are forever grateful to you. Looking out at everyone tonight, I see the beauty of our great nation. People from every corner of our country and every walk of life are here, united by our shared vision for the future of our country. And this November, we will come together and declare with one voice, as one people, we are moving forward. Knowing we all have so much more in common than what separates us. Let us fight for the ideals we hold dear, and let us always remember when we fight.
Very interesting to have her. Yeah, it was very interesting to have her speak.
Yes. Well, we were just talking about how we were wondering what she was going to be, how she was going to be incorporated.
Yeah, and so it's not a part of the Biden thing.
No.
And she's not here to watch everything. She just came out and gave a mini speech to welcome everybody.
Well, what time is it?
Prime time,
It's
baby.
prime time.
Prime time.
And weeks ago, when I saw him dig deep into his soul and decide to no longer seek re-election and endorse Kamala Harris. Small acts of kindness that heal deep wounds, from service to the communities that make us who we are. From
I've made a lot of mistakes in my career, but I gave my best to you. For 50 years, like many of you, I give my heart and soul to our nation. And I've been blessed a million times in return with the support of the American people. I've either been too young to be in the Senate because I wasn't 30 yet, and too old to stay as president. But I hope you know how grateful I am to all of you. I can honestly say, and I mean this from the bottom, give me my word as a Biden, I can honestly say I'm more optimistic about the future than I was when I was elected as a 29-year-old United States Senator. I mean it. Folks, we just have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America. And there's nothing we cannot do when we do it together. God bless you all. May God protect our troops. Any other way, Jim?
All right, leaving the United Center and my immediate thoughts on the Biden speech. So just like top line, the crowd was electric. The vibes were very, very energetic. I still wonder, and maybe, like, you know, we're going to get 4 farewell speeches from Joe Biden. This was very much a stump speech. I thought he delivered it fine. He was certainly better than he had been leading up to it. More State of the Union than, you know, anything around the CNN debate. But that crowd is electric. It was an electric crowd. So there we go. That's my vibes check. I am here in Chicago's Midway Airport the morning after night one. Unfortunately, I do have to leave Chicago because I am going to be a father, and I have a pregnant wife. Anyway, I wanted to sleep on my thoughts on the vibes because, again, I only get one bite at the apple here, and things may change, but I do think I've got a pretty good beat on the vibes of the Democratic National Convention, and specifically compared to the Republican Convention. So I told you guys that the Republican Convention was a love fest, and it was. It felt like a very, very turbulent family that had just suffered some big event, a cataclysm that had made all of their other issues seem small. And then, of course, they thought they were winning, and that always makes everybody feel a lot better when you are winning. There is no doubt that the crowd I was among last night was electric, and I expect that they will continue to be so. I'll say that the 2 best speakers of the night, in my opinion, were AOC, who gave a great, I would say probably the speech of her career, and something that I think can earn her mainstream appeal. The second best was Hillary Clinton, and I have never said that in my life. But I wondered why Hillary was as good as she was last night. And I think that 2 things are at play. Number one, the Democrats are a party right now that by necessity is united by disdain of one man. I think the Trump campaign put out stats showing the amount of time that the word Trump was said compared to, you know, the border or the economy or blah, 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 blah. And without a doubt, there was... We're no longer in the when they go low, we go high, right? Now it is they've gone low for 8 years, and so we're going to go subterranean. We are going to call their nominee a sexual predator. It is all gas, no brakes when it comes to their disdain. And in that environment, Hillary Clinton is probably the most like herself, and in a way that I think we want to hear her. At least I've always wanted to hear her. I've always wanted to hear Hillary Clinton's actual opinions on things, her unvarnished, what she says after 2 glasses of Chardonnay opinions on things. And I think we have gotten more of that as she has sort of transitioned out of active politics. But in that vein, where the party has met her and she has felt that she has the ability to do that, I think she delivered a great speech. Which, of course, brings us to Kamala and Biden. Now, there's been a fair amount said even today about why and how Joe Biden got bumped out of primetime. Everything went late. David Axelrod said that it was speakers who just went over their time, doubled their time. Apparently only AOC and Andy Bashir stuck to their times last night. That's really sad if that is the case. And I assume it is, because I don't necessarily buy that the
the Machiavellian elements of the Democratic Party wanted to ruin. Like they wanted Joe Biden to have a moment because they don't want him to talk anymore. You know, he literally got on a plane last night, and he is not going to be anywhere near the convention. And anytime that anything that is positive about the Biden administration is going to be mentioned, Harris is going to be the one who gets credit for it. But metaphor incoming. The Democratic Party is another family. But this family was a little bit more troubled. The dad wasn't looking good with his job. He's probably going to lose his job. The mom had gotten hustled on like the third multi-level marketing scheme. The daughter wanted to start an OnlyFans and was, talking about meeting this really nice guy who was very rich from Abu Dhabi. And the son had just taken money out from a loan shark and put it all into a Logan Paul crypto coin. Like, there were just a lot of warning signs. And they're fighting with each other constantly. They're blaming each other for why they are in this situation. Well, if you didn't waste so much money, I wouldn't have had to stay up so late. And if you weren't so aggravating, I wouldn't have to drink, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And then one day the mom wins the Powerball. And it's $150 million. And all of a sudden they're rich. And all of a sudden all the problems that they had seem insignificant. Now the dad is retiring. He's not getting fired. Now the crypto coin thing seems like small potatoes. Now, does that mean that the mom is any better at managing money? No. Does that mean that there are not still deep problems with the family? And indeed, if you pile a bunch of money on it, are they going to eventually be worse? Maybe. But for right now, everything is awesome. And that's the feeling that I felt last night. Adrenaline. The adrenaline and the weight off the shoulders of what everybody agreed might have been a total collapse and disaster. I don't know how durable adrenaline is, but I also know that movements have been started on a lot less. And that ultimately is going to be the story of the Democratic Party in this election. Is the calendar late enough that you can white knuckle adrenaline your way from now until November? Can you shape your issues that you are weak on, specifically the economy and the border, in a way that highlights the biggest thing that you have on your side, which is, again, your party disdains somebody. Just, there's no element. The mood last night was very much, if somebody had gotten on stage and said, I wish the bullet would have hit him, I think it would have gotten a cheer. Like, that's the level of disdain. How you doing? That's the level of hatred that was there. And it's because Donald Trump has bedeviled that party. He's been the best and the worst part of their lives for a long time. And so Biden is off, Kamala's here, and I will be live streaming nights 3 and 4 on my channel. But that's it. I got to get on my plane.
And that'll wrap it up for us today. I am back in my studio, ready for the impending release of my child. But it does wrap it up for us today. A reminder that you can email the show, theyoungamerican@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us and our mission of independent journalism, heading out there into the belly of the beast and getting you the reactions, the vibes that none will bring you, such as I, well, You can support us with a one-time donation. PayPal.me/payjury. Venmo is Justin-Young-20. Cash App is PX3 Cashing. You can send me anything you'd like in the mail. Post Office Box 153184, Austin, Texas 78715. Of course, you can always get our bonus content. TakePoliticsSeriously.com. $3 tier gets you 2 bonus podcasts per week covering all the news that we miss on our free podcasting schedule. And our $10 tier. Get your name right at the end of the show like these fine folks in the Titanic $10 tier. Adam, Dr. Whiskey, CP, Sean, David Potts, Nicholas, Whiskey Wolf, Sparky from Stevens, Florida, Will Port of SingleTreeTravel.com, Fat Tony's PJs from New York, Devon the CFP, Gloria, Grayzone, Peepaw, Jay, Sugar Brady, Marcus with a Q, DP4 Bongo, Sam, John, Niemeister, Edwin, and vote Gloria Young for King of the New World Order. Edison, Jeremy, a dog named Checker, Sarah Jeannie, Matthew, Dr. G, Neil, Charles, his nerdiness, Charles, that is, Audrey Stoll Adler, Spot, Darren, Idris Arslanian, Bluefront, and the Lenina, Berkeley, Stephen, Chad, Zombie Doc, Matt P, Chill, Adam, Chief Andy, Robert, Casey, Paul, Dustin, Brad, D Laser, Nick, just another pilot, Middle-aged Mike, Utah, Jimmy Montana, the Jen, Elo, D, really? Craig. And Andrew, you love it when it's election season and the names get that long to read. It means you guys care. It means that I am happy that I have the ability to be here with you. No coverage from me for night 2. Trying to wrap up a lot of loose ends here before the baby. Trust me. Know that it takes me a lot to not do live coverage for these kind of things. They only come around once every 4 years. Live streamed coverage from me for night 3 and night 4. That is Wednesday and Thursday. You can find me either on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Justin R. Young, or the Politics YouTube channel. That is where a video version of this podcast has gone up as well. Till next time, friends, this is your old pal, Justin Robert Young, saying some shows talk about politics, others talk about politics, and still more discuss politics. But this is the one that only discusses all 3.